Hello, this is SJ Talks and Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. I want to talk about men telling women to choose better. Men are always telling women, particularly the red pill, the manosphere, always telling women to choose better. They're always telling us to choose better. When women, because I was on somebody else's channel and I was reading the comments and they was talking about that statement and somebody said when men tell us to choose, I think it was Joel's Lowell channel. When men tell us to choose better, it's like somebody said, and it was a good point. When men tell us to choose better, that's like telling us it's your fault that he treated you the way he treated you. That is your fault because that's who you picked. So it's your fault that he treated you the way he treated you. It's like if a woman gets violated, if a woman is violated, she gets violated. People are asking her, what was she wearing? Where was she at? Or what association did she have with the man? Or, depending on the situation. They're asking her all these questions, interrogating this woman. And this is the reason why a lot of women don't want to come forth. When a lot of women go through situations, a lot of women don't want to come forth and report it for that very reason. It's because the woman essentially gets blamed. Like, what were you wearing? Where were you at? Or what difference does it make what a woman is wearing? Does a man have the right to violate a woman? A man does not have a right to violate a woman just because of what she's wearing. Because what says when you ask her what she's wearing, what message does that send? What are you telling the woman? Is your fault that you were violated because you were wearing certain things? Or if you're in your house, did you lock your doors? What difference does it make? Ain't nobody got no business coming in your house. They have no business coming in your house. So a woman gets pretty much interrogated, and everything when she is, if it's a date type situation where she got violated, boy, she really gets blamed. So this country and world is so sexist, so misogynistic, and so sexist to the point that women get pretty much blamed for everything. But in the black community, as I've said in other videos, no one ever wants to hold the men accountable. So it's like when they tell us to choose better, they're basically essentially saying it's your fault that he did what he did to you because you chose him. First of all, men change. They change. They put on their best behavior when you first meet them. When you first meet them, they put on their best behavior. Okay? They're at their best when you first meet them. Because I think, was it Chris Rock that said that? I think it was Chris Rock. One of his stand-up routines, I can't remember which one it was. He said, when you meet somebody, you're not meeting them, you're meeting their representative. When you meet somebody, you're not meeting them, you're meeting their representative. And that's pretty much in a nutshell. It's like men are great actors. A lot of them, some of them need Academy Awards. Okay, they need to be giving out Academy Awards to some of these men because some of them are very good actors. Very good actors. Denzel Washington ain't got nothing on some of these men out here, I'm telling you. There's some Academy Award winners out here. I mean, they really, really put on a show. I mean, they really, really give a great performance. Oh, yeah. And they really put on their best selves. And depending on what a woman tells them, that's why women have to kind of watch their mouth when they're first, When you're first meeting a man, I talked about this in another video. Women have to try not to run their mouth so much because he depending on what you tell him, he'll become a chameleon and turn into what he thinks you want based on what you told him. Oh yes, they're very crafty. And if it's to if it's to get access to your body or get access to your heart so he can manipulate you, because once they got your heart, then they can kind of manipulate you. Or if it's to get into your home so he can sack up on you and, use you and drive your car and, live in your house for free and all that. So whatever his purpose is, whatever he has, what purpose he has for you, it could just to get your access to your body. It could be to get access to your heart. So then once he gets access to your heart, then he can start manipulating you. Okay? Into doing what he wants you to do. Depending on what his plan is. If he wants you to be temporary in his life, or he wants you to deal with you more on a long-term basis. Okay? That's when you meet them, they're their best selves. They're putting on their best show for, so they can use you accordingly. If they're not for the right things. If they're not for the right things and they don't have the right intentions, now if they for the right things, then they're going to be there for the right reasons. But if they're not there for the right reasons, or their intentions may start off good, and then on down the line, they might have the intention on actually having a relationship with you and that, but then on down the line, their priorities change. When their priorities change, they change. When their priorities change, they change. And so when they change, then they'll act accordingly. They'll do whatever they're going to do to you when they change, whether it be cheat on you or leave you or whatever the situation is. Sometimes they change if there's a child born. So a lot of times they change after a baby is born. Because that's a whole nother video. They get jealous of the baby. Yeah. Had that happen to me. I had that happen to me. Not going into all that, but yeah. They change after the baby is born. They sure do. So when they tell women to choose, when you tell women to choose better, where are we supposed to be psychics? Are we supposed to be a psychic? We're supposed to be able to see into the future. I mean, now there's certain characteristics about a man that you can spot the red flags. If you're a wise woman, and you're going into a situation with a man with your eyes open, then there's certain red flags that you can pick up on right away. But if you're not wise, if you're young and you're not wise, or you haven't gotten to that stage in life where you have acquired some wisdom and your discernment is not good, then even if there's red flags there, you're not going to pick up on it. Because case in point, I'll use me for an example. When I hooked up with my oldest son's dad, he already had 3 baby mamas. That should have been problematic for me. That should have been problematic. That was a red flag, and it should have been problematic. And I'm having to talk to you about getting into your children's life. Not bashing him, but I'm just speaking the truth. That's problematic. Now, I realize that now, but back then, it literally went right over my head. So, I mean, depending on when at what stage? Of course, I was very young. I mean, depending on what stage in life you're in, if you're very young, and you don't have any discernment, it depends on your mindset. Some 20-year-old women are very, very mature and very advanced mentally for their age. So it just depends on the person. It depends on the person. And, where your mindset is and all that. Okay. So there's certain things, characteristics about a man that you can pick up off on instantly. That would be a red flag. But there's some things that, like I said, there's some things he gonna be able to cover up, because he'll be able to put on his best performance to cover up, to act like he's Mr. Prince Charming in the beginning, so he can lure you in. They can lure you in and get you where they want you. And once they get you where they want you, whether it be emotionally, financially, or whatever, they can manipulate you and do whatever. Like, they can go out there, once they got your heart, they can go out there and cheat on you. They figure you'll put up with it because you're in love with them. And then once the intimacy comes into play, a lot of men know how to manipulate that too. They figure if they put it on you real good, you'll be matized. You know the rest. You'll be matized, okay? And once you be matized, y'all know the rest. Then he figured he got you that way too. He figured he gonna be able to pull you in that way too. Oh yeah. So where I'm going with this is, instead of telling women to choose better, okay, it's wrong. Last time I checked, it was wrong to mistreat people. It was wrong to use people. It was wrong to mistreat people. It is wrong to take advantage of people. It's wrong to use people. It's wrong to hurt people, whether it be physically or mentally or emotionally. I think we can all touch and agree that all those things are wrong. It is wrong to mistreat a person, period. Okay. So we with that knowledge, and we know that it's wrong to mistreat people, why do people make excuses for men when they do these things to women? When a man cheats on you or when he uses you, why do they tell women, well, you should have chose better, as if to say that this is who you chose, so it's your fault that he did this to you, instead of saying he was wrong for that? Instead of holding that man accountable and saying that he was wrong for that, he shouldn't have treated you that way. He was wrong for that. That was not okay for him to treat you that way. He was wrong for that. So, and that this is the thing that happens in the black community. And I've stated this in my other videos, that people don't like to hold black men accountable. They want to put everything on the black woman's shoulders and blame black women for everything, including the crime and everything that happens in the black community. They want to blame black women and put everything on black women's shoulders and blame black women for everything, but never wanting to hold the men accountable. And I did a video, I think back in the summer, saying that men need to hold each other accountable. Men need to do a better job of holding each other accountable. Stop making excuses for these men, okay? If a man is cheating on a woman, using a woman, being a homosexual, whatever the situation is, abusing a woman, whether it be emotionally or physically, it is unacceptable. It is not okay. If my sons was doing any of those things, I would definitely let them know that that's wrong. And I do, if I feel like there is something that they're not doing, some kind of conduct that they're doing towards a woman that's not right, if I felt that way, I would let them know. I would let them know that now you're wrong for that. It's not acceptable. It's not okay. Okay? It's not okay, because if a woman did it, and somebody was making this point. I think it was it Joe's Lowell? She was making the point that um um when a man is cheated on or treated a certain way by a woman, they don't put up with it. They out of there. They're gonna move on to the next woman. A man is not gonna put up with being cheated on. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. If a woman cheats on a man, it's a deal breaker for him. It's a deal breaker because it messes with their male ego. It's a deal breaker for them, and they're out of there. So their standards are a lot higher than women's in a lot of cases. The women are expected to put up with it. Why are women expected to put up with it? If it's wrong for a woman to cheat, then it's wrong for a man to cheat. It ain't right for nobody to cheat on nobody in a relationship. Okay? If you've committed yourself to this person, then okay, it's wrong to cheat. Whether you're male or female is unacceptable. Okay? So that's a deal breaker for men. But why are women expected to put up with it? Okay? Why is a woman expected to put up with it if a man ain't gonna put up with it? Okay? So if you a man and you you're abusing a woman, you cheating on her, whatever the situation is, well, that's wrong. It's unacceptable and it's wrong. So why don't we normalize telling men to be better? That's my point. We need to normalize telling men to be better. Instead of always telling women to choose better, why don't we tell our men that they need to be better? Try not being a cheater. Try not being a homosexual. Try not being an abuser, whether it be physically or emotionally. Try not being those things. Try not being a manipulator. Try not being those things. And normalize holding men accountable, other men holding other men accountable, and saying, no, man, that ain't right. That ain't right for you to treat your woman that way. That's not okay. Because if you had a daughter, and a lot of these men do have daughters that they halfway care about, would you want a man treating your daughter like that? Would you want a man to cheat on your daughter? Would you want a man to abuse your daughter? If you halfway care about your daughter, you love your daughter, you wouldn't want no man treating your daughter. You'd be ready to give him a knuckle sandwich. If a man was treating your daughter like that, you would be ready to give him a knuckle sandwich. Okay? It would be totally unacceptable. And that's how men need to think in those terms. If you have a daughter, would you accept your daughter be treated with abuse or whatever, cheating or whatever? So why would you treat someone else's daughter that way? Because any woman that you hook up with, she's somebody's daughter, whether the father's still alive or not. She was somebody's daughter. Why would you go out and treat somebody else's daughter like that? You wouldn't want nobody treating your daughter like that. So that's what we need to normalize. Telling men that they need to be better. Tell men to be better. Instead of always telling women to choose better and want to dump everything on a woman and blame a woman for everything. Tell men to be better, because when you do that and you tell women to choose better, essentially blaming her for everything, you're indirectly telling the men that it's okay for you to keep up with this behavior. It's okay for you to keep doing what you're doing to women. You know, because you're in a sense making excuses for the man. Well, there is no excuse for a man to treat a woman like that. There ain't no excuse for no man to mistreat no woman. Not if he's supposed to love and care for her. If he's supposed to love and care for her, and if he don't love and care for her, then he needs to bounce. And you know, cut her loose. Cut her loose. Stop fooling with her. And let her be with somebody that is gonna love and care for her. Okay? Stop wasting her time. If you don't love and care for her, then stop wasting her time. And free her up and let her find somebody that is going to love and care for her. That's the right thing to do. Cut her loose. Let her go. But just to sit and just keep mistreating a woman and then telling women that and all y'all got to say is telling women to choose better? Would you tell your daughter that? Some of you men that got daughters out here, would you tell your daughter oh, she comes crying to you, oh, daddy, my boyfriend broke my heart. He cheated on me, or he did this to me, or he did that to me, and your daughter comes crying to you about it. What are you going to tell her? Oh, sorry, baby, you should have chose better. Or are you going to hold that man accountable? Or worst case scenario, she has a baby by this man. And he leaves her, he bounces on her and leaves her high and dry with the baby. As a loving father, what would you say to your daughter? Well, I guess you should have, that's what you get. I guess you should have chose better. Or are you going to hold that man accountable? Are you going to say, oh, no, he wrong for that. He wrong for treating my daughter like that. He wrong for that. And you're going to let him know that he's wrong for that. You're going to hold him accountable, right? I would think a loving father would hold the man accountable. Yeah, he's going to educate his daughter and everything like that. But he's going to hold that man accountable if he's a loving father. So that's what I'm saying. We need to teach our young boys coming up to be better. Teach them to be better. Teach them to not cheat on women, to not abuse women, not use women, not manipulate women. That's what we need to teach our boys coming into manhood. Teach them to be better, to do better, and to be better. And I'm going to leave you with that. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and share. And hit that notification bell so every time I do a video, you will be notified. Until the next video, be blessed.